Hello fellow teachers. In this video, we are going to show you how we develop pupils' handwriting skills in the first term of P1. Handwriting is taught on Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays during pre-reading and pre-writing time in term 1. In these lessons, we use a bottom-up approach to teaching writing. This means we focus on the small parts of writing letters and names, not writing stories. We want pupils to be able to write their surname correctly by the end of term 1, so pupils get practice in writing their names. Teachers also focus on developing learners' general handwriting skills by having pupils practice patterns and letter formation on slates. In addition to these 3 lessons each week, pupils also get handwriting practice when they write their stories during creative writing time. To summarize, these are the handwriting activities for term 1: writing your surname, pattern practice, letter formation practice, and writing stories in creative writing time. To understand more about the handwriting activities in term 1, we will visit Ayago Primary School and P1 teacher, Agnes. There are 2 main steps in the handwriting lessons on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. After singing a song and distributing the slates, the teacher begins the first step. Agnes made name tags for each of our pupils. The pupils copy their names on the slates. As you can see, Agnes moves around the classroom assisting pupils as needed.
Others who don't know how to write some of the letters, we pick out the letters they don't know how to write, and then we concentrate on those letters until they know how to write. And then we keep on bringing them up letter by letter until they know all the letters of their names.
To give pupils practice with the pencil and paper, on Fridays, Agnes asks the pupils write their names in their exercise books instead of on the slates. Agnes can also collect these name writing samples and assess them during our prep time. After about 10 minutes, the teacher asks learners to put their name cards away. Now we are coming to the second part of the lesson. Before they begin this part of the lesson, Agnes and Petros like to take a minute to do some warm-up exercises with their pupils.
The activities I'm using, I always tell them to lift up their hands. When they lift up their hands, We begin by strengthening the finer muscles. We go like this, we go like this, we go like this, like this, we go like this, we go like this.
Now learners are ready to continue their handwriting lesson. During the first 4 weeks, teachers focus on basic handwriting patterns. The teacher's guide provides you with a sample handwriting patterns. You may also have other patterns you prefer.
Those patterns help them move their hands in the ways the letters are formed. The letters are formed like O. They keep on writing O like this. And then with W, they can write just like this, like this, like this.
The rest of the term is focused on introducing pupils to all the letters in the Lebanon and English alphabet. Again, the teacher's guide lays out the letters to teach each week. At this point, the focus is not on mastering the formation of each letter, but rather giving pupils an introduction to all the letters. The teacher demonstrates the first pattern or letter on the board, one step at a time. The learners follow the teacher, step by step. You mustn't forget that some of your pupils will be left-handed. They need to be seated so that their elbow doesn't interfere with the right-handed writers. Left-handed writers have other challenges. Your teacher's guide has more suggestions for working with them. Between steps, the teacher moves around the classroom observing the learners and helping those who are having problems. Agnes chose one of the learners' work to show an example to the others.
Those letters are picked out and they are in the teacher's guide. We write the capital letter and a small letter. We bring them to write on hair. Turn in front of them, you face the blackboard and you turn your back to them so that they know the correct position. You begin by writing in the hair. So you make them see from you first, and then afterwards they imitate. You check when they're writing. And with the left-handed, you make sure you show them how to write using the left, and the right-handed the same way, so that they are all together. Aya, don't show me, come on. Hey. Aya, don't show you money. Show you dog money. Show you taduo. Katidi. Inero. Bunya bunya taduo. Katidi. Taduo. Katidi. Each time when they write, you make them lift the slates up. You check when all of them have written. Then you let them share with their friends. You see how your friends have written. Jonero. Choko de tinga mermala anu ngachunga kana tenen. Ting maru. Jolong. Da. Do tinga tinga ni maru. Makabe. Makabe. Work tinga. Aya. When you talk with him. You talk with God. We are with the man. Allow me about with the man. You not make a word. What did I look at and make? Yeah, man. What did I come up?
At the end of the lesson, the pupils clean their slates and put them away. While learners erase their slates, they sing a song. It is during these pre-writing lessons on Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays that pupils get explicit instruction in handwriting. But pupils also practice handwriting during creative writing time. This lesson also gives pupils a chance to practice their handwriting skills. As the teacher, you should continue to observe pupils' posture and grip during creative writing time and assist pupils as needed. Now let's look at the main competences we expect pupils to master during pre-writing lessons on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. Pupils will be able to use the correct sitting posture and handle the writing instrument properly, write their surname with the correct spelling and letter formation, form different patterns and letters correctly. Think about the handwriting lessons you have observed. Can you identify the point in each lesson when the teacher is able to have individual pupils demonstrate these three competences? I am going to request that your facilitator pause this video now while you discuss this as a group. Did you identify the parts of the lesson when the teacher is asking individual pupils to demonstrate one of the three competences? Let's review clips from the video and see if your answers match with what you have seen. 1. Use the correct posture and handling the writing instrument correctly. 2. Writing their surname correctly. 3. Forming patterns and letters correctly. It's recommended that each day you identify 5 pupils you want to focus your attention on during this lesson. After the lesson, you can then go to your continuous assessment monitoring form and mark the pupils you have observed accordingly. Now, let's quickly review the main components of the pre-writing lessons on Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays. The teacher begins the lesson by having pupils write their surnames on slates. The teacher makes name cards for all the pupils. The name is spelled correctly and written with the correct letter formation. The pupils copy the name card on their slates. The second half of the pre-writing lesson is devoted to basic handwriting skills. During the first 4 weeks of the term, learners practice different patterns. The rest of the term, they are systematically introduced to all the letters in the Lebanon and English alphabets. And remember, pupils also get extra handwriting practice when they write their stories during creative writing time. And to end our video, Agnes will give us advice on teaching learners beautiful handwritings, since our class is famous for good handwriting. Let's listen to our advice.
First of all, I, as a teacher, I have good handwritings. And when I write, they look at the beauty of the handwritings I have. And they imitate, because pupils always imitate what you, the teacher, does. So they imitate how I write. That is the first thing. Secondly, I always stress to them that writing beautifully is really wonderful and makes your work really good to look at and nice to mark. And also, I always give them work. I give them work. I keep on repeating. You know, pupils really learn through repetition. They like really repeating things. So when they repeat, those who are weak, they also pick from there.
Thank you for your attention. Have a good lesson.